Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacey Flowers and I'm a student of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, and I'm on a journey to become 100% debt free. My current debt is nearly about $185,000. I'm on baby step number 2 to repay all of my debts. I work for myself exclusively part-time and my average income is right around $10,000 a month. In this video, I'm going to be doing a budget report card for the month of July. So if you're interested in that, please keep watching. So again, I had originally recorded this and that did not work. So I am re-recording this, and so I wish that I could have recorded it a little bit closer. July isn't that far away, but a little bit closer, just so I could be a little bit more emotionally in the space. But we'll see what we can get from this, because I do have my notes from my original reflection. So you guys know that I feel like money is more than just dollars and cents, and because money is more than just dollars and cents, I really like to reflect on the stuff that I'm learning and understanding around it. And a lot is rapidly happening between June and July. Like, there's just been so much rapidly happening financially, and so I'm really kind of excited to reflect on it this month. So what are the things that I'm grateful for? Probably the number one thing that I'm grateful for in July is my son's birthday month, which I just think it just works out that my birthday month is before his and then he has his. But it's my son's birthday month, and he turned, and I'm gonna cry. Hold on, give me a minute. Oh gosh, so it is July is my son's birthday month, and this July my son turned 17, and I have a 17-year-old human being. So I'm grateful for that, because so I went home. You guys will see that in the budget. I went home this month to see my son for his birthday, or to my hometown, and you know, I was just looking at his face and he's so happy. Like, I probably should have brought some Kleenexes in here, but like, I'm very, very grateful that, like, I'm really very grateful that my son is so happy, because I feel like I don't know, like, I can't believe that he's 17. Like I can't believe I have a 17-year-old, and it's like, I can't believe that I have a 17-year-old, but I also like can't believe that he's so happy, you know, like he really enjoys his life, like and you know, there was stuff, like, I don't talk a lot about parenting on here because it's just not what the channel is about, but you know, parenting is really tough, and you know, you want your kids to be happy and you want your kids to have a good life, and I'm so grateful that, like, my son really does, you know, like, and it's not like a conventional sort of a situation. And I don't think, you know, when I had him, or even some of the times, like, as he was growing up, that I would have imagined that at this age he would be as happy. Like, I think I always dreamt of it. Like, it's kind of, so maybe that's what this emotion is about. It's kind of like a dream come true. Like, I just always wanted my son to be happy, and I'm just, you know, when I went to go see him, like, it was just really amazing to see how happy he is. And it just so happened that his birthday fell on a day that a college recruiter had like a recruiter event or whatever. And so I was telling him, I was just like, you know, do you want to go to this event? You know, it's your birthday, we can do anything. And he's just like, yeah, mom, like, this is my life. Like, I love football. Like, why would I not go to this event when this is about my life? So it just really made me happy that, first of all, like, he's really very clear on, like, who he is, what he wants, like, what brings him joy, what brings him happiness. He goes after it, and I've created a space with his father, like I've created a space for my son to just be a very like well-rounded, super respectful, very happy kid. And I was so worried that, you know, like my stuff and like my issues with like, I don't know why I don't know why I'm crying this much, but I think I was just so worried that like my stuff was really gonna make it impossible for him to have a good childhood and just, you know, good teenage years. But like while I was there, I'm just like looking at his face, and like there are times when you can look at your kid's face and you can know that they're distressed and like something is going on. And I don't know if you guys have looked around, but teenage years are not awesome in this current century. I don't know if they weren't awesome before, but they're especially not awesome now. And so to be able to like look my son in the face and see his sheer happiness and see his contentment and see his like joy and see his belief in possibility, like it just makes me so happy. So that is the thing that I'm most grateful for in July, is that my son, it's his birthday month, he turned 17, he is so happy, and like I'm super grateful to be his mom, and I'm super grateful that like those decisions that I made, like they worked out so far. Like 17 is a big deal. Like it's the last year before he's officially legally an adult, so I'm happy that like moving into this last year of his childhood, he's happy. I'm also grateful for I'm also grateful to be his mom. That was like the second thing. So I'm grateful it was his birthday, but I'm also grateful to be his mom. Then July was my rest month, so I'm also super grateful that I was able to rest for the full month of July, because it really restored my creativity, my energy. I had some stuff come up in June, and it just gave me a lot of time to be able to process and deal with all that stuff. So there we have it. What worked in the month of July, what really worked was resting intentionally. Like a lot of people get confused about it, and I'm going to try to do a video about it to really explain the rest practice. But essentially every 7 days I take a day off, every 7 weeks I take a week off, every 7 months I take a month off, and I intend to take my 7th year of life off since I started this practice. So that'll be my 40th birthday. But this month of July was my rest month, and so I took this month off from work, and I didn't do any front facing work, and it really ended up working out because this month my company grossed more revenue than any other month that I've worked this year. And the only reason it doesn't do a complete translation into my net income this month is because the way that I'm doing my business capital, I don't know if this is going to be confusing, but the way that I'm doing, because I want my company to have a little bit more capital to work with, because I have some bigger projects coming up and I need to have a greater reserve in my company, is not necessarily translating into net. But listen, I mean, it could. I'm just making a decision for it not to. But to gross the amount that I made this month, like, mind-blowing, especially given that like I didn't do front-facing work for the company, no marketing, no promotion, no any of that stuff. It's just great, amazing community and clients and work, and so I'm super like grateful that I've structured my life in a way to be able to do that. What didn't work, I feel like my makeup is running all down my face. What didn't work was overthinking about my resting, because I was resting, but I was making money, and I was just like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? So I was really freaking out. But that makes me think about how, like, last month I really need to just allow myself to be wealthy, because that is a mindset shift that I'm trying to shift into, and it's just a lot more challenging than what I thought. Like, you think it'd be easy to be like, let me just put on my wealthy cap. No, it's not. So I'm just trying to learn how to wear my wealthy cap, wear my wealth, I guess, not wear it clothes wise, but like on my mind, like shift really into that mindset space, because I was doing some serious overthinking this month, and I feel like if I wouldn't have overthought, like the doubling of the, or not the doubling, but the highest grossing month is amazing, but I think that I could have enjoyed it a little bit more if I wasn't doing so much overthinking. What do I need to stop doing? Overthinking. What do I need to start doing? Really honoring my intuition, continuing to do that. I think I'm at the space now where when I think about where I was last year, like I really had to think about a lot of stuff before I was doing it, and I realized that I'm moving into a space where I just need to trust my gut. Like if my gut is like go left, go right, go whatever my gut tells me to do, I think I'm pretty much just going to do that for the remainder of the year, because there's something going on in terms of the level of security that I have now, that my thinking is so rooted in who I was in the past before I was this secure, that it's sort of blocking and stifling things that I need for this space that I'm entering into. So that is the thing that I'm going to start doing, is just truly following my intuition no matter what. I'm just going to test that for the rest of the year, for the last 6 months of the year. My intention for next month is to double my income. So for the month of August, I really want to double my income. The big thing that I would need to support me in doing this is just focus. And then why is this intention? Like, why must I do this? And I think that, again, and I think I mentioned this in the last budget report card, but like, I am very clear now that my income is the way that I'm going to pay off my debt. Like before I got to this point, there were so many other obstacles, right? Like I didn't have financial dignity. My 4 walls weren't covered. I didn't have an emergency fund. There were so many obstacles that I got through in order to get to this point where I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And at the end of the day, it boils down to my income. The more income I make, not just faster, but just the more completely I'm able to pay off this debt, because you guys know I'm down to my student loans, but my student loans still have an interest rate that I don't know what it is. I think it's like 5%, but it brings, I add about $800 a month back to my debt pile because of my interest rate. Now, obviously, I'm probably not doing that now, because last month I don't think I put that much, but this month I at least put $5,000, I'm sure, towards my student loan. Or maybe I didn't. Don't quote me on that. We gotta throw me over the shoulder. But I put extra on my student loans this month. So I just feel like that's gonna go down, but still I'm bringing every month, my interest is still $800 a month, and I gotta get in front of that. And truly the only way to do that is through increasing my income. So that is the really big thing that I'm gonna focus on now, is increasing my income, because I'm so close. I'm not close to the end of paying off the debt, but close to the, like, it's pretty clear how it's going to happen. Like before I had so many obstacles, I really couldn't see how. So now I can see how, and I just want to lean into that a little bit more. So now I'm going to throw you guys over my shoulder, and we're going to take a look at my very specific numbers. All right, so this is an every dollar budget. You can see here I got my green check mark, which is really nice. For income that I planned to pay myself is $10,000, so I gave myself $10,000 for my salary this month. I paid $1,000 toward my tithe, $1,000 towards child support. I did not do any funding of my emergency fund. You guys will see my son's birthday is here, but you'll see what I ended up doing for my son's birthday, a little bit lower. My rent was $930, so I paid that. That includes my second gas. I paid $25 towards electricity, $25 towards my gas. Then my groceries, I gave myself a budget of $150, and I only ended up spending $112.16, and that's just because I got some tough news in June, and that really affected my appetite in July. And so like I was like eating nothing in July. Like it was completely ridiculous, which is the reason why I had dropped just a little bit more weight than I had anticipated, because you cannot not eat, folks. You got to eat, even when things are challenging. And so July was a little bit intense for me, not because July was hard, but because of the news that I got in June. So then transportation, I only spent $37.75, but that is because I did travel back home, and I went to Rwanda for the last week, so I just didn't do as much moving around via Uber. And so that's good that that gets to just sort of remain in reserve, I guess, because I didn't spend all that. Then my insurances came out, $575 for renter's insurance, $150 for health coverage, $26.25 for life insurance. Because it feels really good to be insured, I'm really gonna make it a point to really focus and figure out how to create like a health savings account, or to create like a sinking fund for medical stuff. So I want to get my glasses done. So these are my glasses. I've had these frames for 3 years. I love them. I'm gonna keep the frames, but it's time for me to get new lenses, and that's why you guys see me taking them on and off quite a lot, because it's like I can't just wear them all the time, because it just doesn't, they're not an updated prescription. I also want to get my teeth looked at, and then I just have regular, like my annual exam that I need to have. So I have quite a few medical things that I need to get looked at. And so what I want to do is create a sinking fund for that for this year, but I also want to start a sinking fund or a savings account that's just for medical costs, because I'm going to be entrepreneuring for the rest of my life. And until I get married, you know, my husband, well, no, I'll just be able to go on my husband's insurance, but until I get married, I'm on entrepreneur health insurance. And entrepreneur health insurance tends to be something where there's more out-of-pocket costs than when you're, you know, on corporate health insurance. So I just want to create a proper savings to be able to do that, so that way I don't have to wait to go like get my eyes checked or get my teeth checked or whatever. So there's that. And there's just so much security that comes from having those insurances in place. Like I didn't realize how much security you feel when you have life insurance in place. Like it just makes me feel just more secure about what I'm doing for my son. So super good that way. So then under lifestyle, I did go to therapy an extra time this month, because again, June, the end of June was heavy for me, and so that translated a little bit into July, making July a little bit more challenging for me. So I did go to therapy an additional time. So that was $230 because I went 3 times, and my personal trainer is $400. Then I had my gym membership at $49.99. Gave myself about $20 in pocket money. I had my $100 college prep come out. I also did homemaking. Originally, I was only going to give myself $60 in homemaking because I wanted to buy a plant and a planter, but then I ended up getting gift money, so I put 100 of the $125 in gift money in this as well. So I ended up using $160 for homemaking, which is really nice because I'm really pulling my home together. That feels really good to just really be making myself a home here. That's really, really nice. Then I knew that I was going to Rwanda, so I planned on spending $500 for my trip to Rwanda. Thankfully, my host took care of everything, so I didn't have to spend that full $500. I probably didn't even have to spend the $356, but I ended up spending about $356, and that's between the Uber ride to the airport and the things that I got in Rwanda while I was there, and like eating and stuff like that at the airport. But I am very pleased with the fact that I did not, it cost me $350, and it didn't even cost me that, but I chose to spend $356 out of personal money for my trip to Rwanda, which, now that I think about it, because I did do business there, I probably could have pulled that out of my business account, but I'll leave it here for now because that's how I originally calculated. But just saying it out loud made me realize that was actually more of a business trip than it was personal. But still very excited that I'll only spend $356. Coming under budget is always amazing, but coming under budget and you were on another continent is freaking fantastic. So that's that. Then for my son's birthday, a tradition that we have, I always give him $10 for every year of life in cash, just so he can have the money. So I gave him 17 $10 bills for $170, and then I did travel home to see him. And between my bus ticket, my Airbnb, and just going out to eat and just, you know, hanging for the day or whatever, I gave myself a $200 budget, but I came under budget at $174. So the actual total cost for my son's birthday was the $170 plus the $174.23. But I'm still pretty excited about that. I want to do better planning for next year. It'll be his 18th birthday. What in the world? But yeah, so there's that. And then last but certainly not least, we have my debt payments. So this is the first month that I was able to pay extra on my student loans, and the way that my student loans are in the account, I am able to direct it to a certain account. So my minimum on my undergrad loan is $715, but I paid $3,868.34 towards that. Then I put the minimum towards my larger loan at $939.67. So super stoked about that. When I look at my numbers, the total amount that I put towards debt is $4,808.01, which is amazing. What I would like to do moving forward is pay a minimum of $5,000 towards my debt every month for the remainder of the year. Like, that's the goal. So that's at about 48% of my income, which I would love to see that closer to like 50 to 60% of my income, but you know, it's still an amazing amount, and I'm really proud of that. My lifestyle was a much bigger percentage of my income because I traveled twice. I went home, or went to my hometown, went to Rwanda, and it was my son's birthday, so it kind of makes sense to me that like I had a little bit more in my lifestyle, and because I went to therapy that extra time. So overall, my numbers look really good. I feel like my housing number is just so attractive. Like, that 10% of my income being my housing feels really good, and I think I really want to try to maintain that moving forward, because there's just something about that that is so attractive to me. Like, it feels good. Like you know how like you can just sometimes feel things, like that just feels really good. Like, I feel really secure. Like, I feel like my home is super secure with it being 10% of my income. So overall, I would definitely give myself an A for July. Primarily, that's because, you know, my income was so high, but also for the most part, I was under budget. Emotionally, I was dealing with a lot in July, and so that's probably why I was under budget on most of my categories, but that's neither here nor there. We are grading what did I do financially, and thankfully I didn't take those emotions and run in the opposite direction. So I'm very proud of these numbers, and July gets an A. So until next time, I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.